It's me, MLB. Here is Daddy Nanami today, and he is paired with a female listener, and this one will be a three-parter, and what else do I need to tell you? I think that's pretty much it. It's post-Shibuya arc, so in this little story, he survives, yay, because I need to be able to sleep at night. Anyway, here is Burns Unit, Part 1, enjoy. Yin, are you going to be okay on shift tonight? Your co-worker asked you as you put your things away in your locker and straightened your nursing uniform. Yeah, why? I've got 7 pens, stethoscope, my pockets are filled with micropore and gauze, I have a pair of scissors, my timesheet. Yin, I mean about the rumours that have been flying around the ward, you know, stuff that's been happening on night shifts, your co-worker deadpanned. And on top of that, you're team lead tonight. Oh, you said, standing still. Team leader aside, the rumours of the happenings on night shift were indeed a bit of a concern. The happenings had been increasing with tenacious ferocity, and you had to admit that you were a little worried, but so far nothing had happened to you. But that didn't mean that you were safe. Yin? Your co-worker asked when she could see that you were just standing there looking at her. Yeah, no, it should be fine, you said with a nervous smile. Any new admissions? Nah, the co-worker replied, thinking for a second. Still the same. Mr. Nanami was asking when you were on next, she added cheekily. Oh, really? You asked with a bashful smile, trying not to look too excited about that comment. I guess I'll have to drop in and say hi. How's he doing? Yeah, he's good, she replied. Healing well. Oh, good, you replied with a smile. Okay, well, I better get to handover. Good luck, she said, as she and you switched places and she took her spot at the lockers and opened hers as you walked out. I hope it's okay that I didn't tell her about what happened last night. I don't want to scare her too much. You went to handover, as you said you would, got the information for the night, and then you got your allocations, and then you went to sit down to make up your timesheet, smiling when you wrote down the bed number for Mr. Nanami and happy that he was one of your patients for the night. Then after that, you went to make your first round. Oh, good evening, Mr. Nanami, you greeted politely with a smile as you walked into his room. How are you? You walked over to his medication chart beside the bed and looked at it, writing down what time his medication was due at on your timesheet while chatting idly with him. I'm well, Yin. How are you? He asked, and you smiled again. I'm very well, you replied, trying not to check out his well-built chest and shoulders that were exposed due to the bandaging. Hey, I found a recipe for beef battered steak chunks, you commented. I really want to try it out. Oh, how interesting, he replied, adjusting himself in the bed. I believe it would be quite a succulent steak with the beer battering around it. That's what I think so too, he replied happily. If I made some, could I bring some in for you to try? I would appreciate that, he replied, wincing when you walked to the bedside and pressed gently onto the burns padding on his shoulder. We might need to change your bandages tonight, you said. I'll be back to do that a little later, as I need to check on my other patients now. Understandable, he replied with a nod. I look forward to seeing you again. Same, you replied with a smile as you stood back up and turned towards the door. I'll make my rounds quicker so I can come back sooner, you added. He nodded and you left his room, letting out the breath that you had been holding as you exited. Oh, he's so hot and kind, you thought as you walked to the next room and entered. Oddly, this next room felt markedly cooler than Mr. Nanami's room, and you noted it as you walked in, but didn't think much of it as you made your way over to the man in the bed. He looked uncomfortable, like he was in pain, but you greeted him kindly as you always did to your patients. Good afternoon, sir, you greeted him. You remembered him from your previous shift, but he seemed to be acting a little different today. That wasn't entirely unusual. People were ever changing in their mood and behaviour. How are you? You asked him. Terrible, he snapped. I need to get out of this place. It's haunted, he remarked. Oh, come now, you said gently. It's not haunted. I hate it here. I'm not getting better. I'm getting worse, he said. If I just killed myself, everything would be better. Hey, don't say that, you replied quickly. Let's have a look at your meds and we might be able to make you feel a little better that way. You walked to his medication chart and had a read through it and then jotted some things down, but you felt the uneasiness growing the longer that you were in the room with him, so exited there as quickly as you could and walked to the next room. Good evening, ma'am, you greeted the lady in the next room, a shiver going down your spine as you shook off the presents from the last room. Oh, good evening, Nurse Yin, she said to you. You don't look well. Are you okay? I am actually feeling a little weird, you thought, but you didn't want to say anything to her about it, and so put on a brave face. Oh, no, I feel fine. I just started my shift, you said with a chuckle. Now, how are you? Let's have a look at your chart. You checked her medication chart, had a short chat with her, and then left to see your last patient. The person in the final bed made the same comment as the female patient in the room before about you looking tired or not too well, and you jokingly shrugged it off, but truth be told, you really were feeling a little strange all of a sudden. After your first round, you went back to the nurse's desk to write some things down and get your cart together with all the things you'd need for changing Mr. Nanami's bandages, and then headed down to his room again. You smiled as you walked in, but by now you had been starting to feel a little headache was coming on, but Nanami was your favourite patient that night. You didn't want to miss out on seeing him again. I'm back, you said with a smile, blinking a little harder to try and clear your vision that had started to blur a bit. Man, what's wrong with me? You thought. Nanami watched you closely as you pulled up a chair and sat down next to his bedside, pulling your cart up on the other side. Okay, let's check these burns, you said, gently peeling the gauze and patting back from the burn on his shoulder. They're healing quite well, you said, checking them over as you disposed of the old wrappings. You've done very well. You were in the ICU burns unit when you first came into the hospital, correct? Yes, correct, he said. It's been nice being moved from there to here. The nurse here is very pleasant. He added, Oh, yes, you nodded. All of my co-workers are nice here. I was meaning you, he said pointedly, and your heart skipped a beat. Oh, you replied with a bashful giggle. Oh, well, thank you. You're a very pleasant patient, you added. I do enjoy your company a lot. I'm glad it's mutual, he replied, still watching you. The left side of your face suddenly cramped and you winced with sudden pain. Are you okay? Nanami asked you, and you quickly put on a brave face. Oh, yes, I'm fine. Sorry, I had an itch, you lied, reaching for the ointment on your cart and pulling it towards yourself to put on his wounds. Suddenly an alarm started ringing and you recognised it as a rapid response alarm. Oh, excuse me a moment, you said as you jumped up and raced out of the room, stumbling a little as you ran out into the hallway. Oh, what is wrong with me? You wondered. Am I getting a migraine? I've never had one come on so fast before. Usually I get some type of warning. You were joined by other nurses in the hallway and you quickly clicked back into nurse mode and looked up at the display sign in the ceiling of the hallway. Room 2, you said to yourself. That's the guy who wasn't really good earlier. Unhappy guy whose room I felt more cold in. You joined the other nurses who were running with the crash cart and followed them into the room. As you got in, you saw the guy was seizuring and convulsing, so you quickly helped to clear around the bed and make sure he wasn't going to injure himself while another nurse was timing his seizures. What happened? You asked as his convulsions settled slightly. I have no idea, the nurse said. I just heard a noise and then came in to investigate and he was tonic, so I hit the call button. That's odd, you thought. He just had his meds 20 minutes ago, so I'm sure I gave him the correct dose, but even then, convulsions are very rare as a side effect of the drug he's on, you said to the nurse, who shrugged. Well, we've called a doctor to do a revision of his medication, but aside from that, I have no idea, she shrugged. You might need to add it to your report. Your face fell and the tension in your shoulders increased. Damn, reports. You forgot about those being a thing since you were the team leader for the night? You sighed softly. What a pain. Do you still need me? Because I was rebandaging Mr. Nanami in the other room. It should be okay from here, the other nurse replied. The doctor will be here soon and he might want to talk to you, but go and do the bandaging until then. Okay, thanks, you said as you left the room. Okay, well there you have part 1. Stay tuned for next week. Usual time, usual place for one shots. I'll see you next week for part 2.